It is Locked On NBA Game Night for the night of Wednesday, October 22nd. And on today's show, Victor Wembanyama. Tony, he might be better than we thought.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Hello and welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night. Wes Goldberg here with Tony East. However you might be tuning in on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app, thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Have a jam-packed show for you. Today, we are recording this after a 12-game slate on the second night of the NBA season. And the story of the night, Tony, is Victor Wembanyama, 40 points, 15 rebounds, got to the line 11 times, made 9 of those free throws, only took 2 3-pointers in this one. He was a plus 31 in San Antonio's win over the Mavericks. The game just ended a few minutes ago, and I'm still trying to digest what I just watched. He had a step back 3, a driving reverse dunk. He drove by Anthony Davis for a dunk like he wasn't even there. There was a spinning baseline jumper, and this is nothing to say about like the myriad defensive plays that he was making. We knew Wembanyama was going to make a leap, Tony. We saw it coming. We saw the hanging out with the monks and all that stuff. I'm still trying to comprehend what I just saw. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
The spin move on the catch into a spin move past the defender is like the 10th coolest play he had. And that was the one that I was like, what are you supposed to do, dude? Like, he catches it so far from his body and then pirouettes back. It's like, what? Everybody obviously will laud the give and go with Harper, I believe, that got him a wide open one. The reverse dunk was like impossible, and he got fouled. A block into the step back 3. Poor Derek Lively and Anthony Davis, who are both like excellent NBA players. I believe both almost fouled out. 4 fouls for PJ Washington, 4 for Anthony Davis, 5 for Derek Lively. Like, they were trying. They were doing everything they can to stop him. But turns out he's just that good, man. Like, it obviously this might be a high-end outcome. 15 for 21 is insane, but he looked as awesome as potentially advertised.
And he was mostly doing that in the paint. This is obviously going, I don't know. I'm watching this game like this guy could score 100 points. Like it's crazy when he's just doing it like this. And it was against the Mavericks front line. Like, to your point, it wasn't like they were playing the Hornets. This is a stout, large Dallas Mavericks defense, and Victor Wembanyama looked like he was playing on a Nerf hoop in the pool against them. And again, I don't know what else is left for this guy to do if this is what the night is going to be for him. He's getting better. And I think we saw in this game, it's more than just the highlights, right? Like, he makes reverse dunks look like in the half court just look commonplace. But it's the shot selection that he's better at now. Like, last year, he averaged 4 free throw attempts per game. He got to the line 11 times in this one. He only took 2 3-pointers in this one. And it just felt like a lot of the time last year when he was healthy, he was just sort of toying around with stuff at the 3-point line, not getting to the basket nearly as much. But at his size, 7'5", 7'6", whatever he is, he's a lot larger than Anthony Davis and Derek Lively. But there's no reason why he shouldn't be shooting like 70% in the paint. And guess what? He basically did that tonight. The shot selection, the strength, all of that stuff, that's the stuff that's maturing and getting better, in addition to all the defensive stuff, in addition to all the crazy highlights. Like, SportsCenter Top 10 is just going to be all Victor Wembanyama tomorrow, but I don't know that that's necessarily going to capture the part of he actually did get better, at least if we're supposed to believe that this is the game that he's going to be having going forward.
And everybody said, like, it's not that the threes are bad. You want him to shoot well, but like, people likened it to like take the game seriously, you know, like stop taking one-legged threes and all this stuff. And I always thought that was a little much, but you know, this game kind of showed something that I've been wondering about him and the Spurs. And I think it's the right conversation, but people keep saying about the Spurs, the best team around Wemby has a bunch of shooters. And like, yeah, more spacing is better than not. But I wonder at some point if he's just so tall that the geometry of their court is like up instead of out in a way that just like conventional spacing is irrelevant. And so they only took 23s as a team. Like he only took 2. You'd think with a team like that, like we'll talk about Detroit later, they took 27 or something, 24. Like you're like, oh man, they didn't have enough spacing or shooting. The Spurs had a ton of spacing because Wemby's gravity and height of the ball just opens up and unlocks the whole floor. And so if he's more serious with his shot selection, I keep using that word. I don't even know if I like it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? If he's more serious with the shot selection, if his whole team understands how the game is bending around him, and you can even see they're learning, like, what's he going to do? Okay, I'll go react to whatever he just did because I have no idea. I've never seen somebody do this before. And he can just make anything. Like, it's just something we've never seen before. And so as he gets better, I think every game we're going to be like, what do you do? You know, especially if he shoots this well. And so even with, he made a 3 and it was nasty and he got fouled. But like, even with a maturing jumper, it's just so remarkable how every game he's ever played that I watch, I'm like, oh, never seen that before. Oh, like, and defenders too. They're like, I don't know. I do not know what to do. This is not something my pattern recognition brain recognizes. And the Spurs just fed off it. It was truly remarkable how quickly this game went from like, oh, the Mavs are in it to like, oh, Wemby just ended their life at home.
It's a serious conversation. If this is what it's going to be with him right now, like we might not have had him high enough on our Locked On Top 100. And I think we had him top 10. I can't remember exactly where we had him. Could probably find it. But I think we still have the graphic in here.
I know where I voted. I had him 5th. I had him 5th.
So as a network, we had him 7th.
That's fine.
5th seems
all the
better.
Guys ahead of him have had good games so far.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's pretty wild. I want to throw it here to Nick Engstad. He's the host of Locked On Mavericks. He was in the arena for whatever it is this was.
He broke them. Victor Wembanyama broke the Dallas Mavericks tonight. I don't know what they were trying to do. The Mavs start with Cooper Flagg, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively. They start this jumbo lineup, and they're like, all right, we're going to go with no point guards. And then the Mavericks offense just did not look like it had any kind of cohesion at all. It didn't look like it had a plan at all. They were trying to move the ball around, or that's what they said they were going to do, and then they didn't really do those things. And then Victor Wembanyama just like threw a wrench into every single thing the Mavs tried to do on defense. He stopped them from getting into the paint. They were scared to go into the paint. Even the times that they tried to go in the paint, they would get absolutely stuffed. He was only accredited for 3 blocks. Should have been a lot more. And just on offense, you just watch what he can do, the ways that he can finish around the rim, the ways that he can turn like a mid-range shot into a shot right at the rim. It broke the Mavericks. Multiple guys in foul trouble. PJ Washington got 2 early fouls. Lively had 3 fouls quick. Anthony Davis was in foul trouble as well. And you just looked across the board and go, this team is broken because of one guy, and it was Victor Wembanyama. And then the Mavs offense doesn't really look that good outside of that either. When Wembanyama sat, it wasn't that much better. Cooper Flagg, decent in his debut. He had a flurry of buckets like he usually does in that third quarter. He had double-digit rebounds. Looked all right in his debut. A lot of room for improvement for this Dallas Mavericks team because they just got broke tonight.
Let's talk about Cooper Flagg, Tony. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, decent game. Give me a break, man. He got some nice rebounds, but he did not play well, right? He didn't play well. And first of all, who cares? Like, I don't want to have a take from his first ever game. I know it's my job to be like, here's what I think happened and my take on it. Like, dude, it's his first game. I have no take on this changing what I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be awesome. He did not play well in this game. He probably should not be a point guard in the NBA on his first ever game, right? The Mavs, Nick is correct that Wemby broke the Mavs. He was an amazing defender. The Mavs also broke the Mavs by starting this lineup. You need guards. You need guys who can dribble to the basket over and over again and like make a defense collapse and move. If Wembanyama is just like, oh, this is easy, I can like walk and contest shots, like, yeah, you just kind of lose, right? It was just a bad idea against a guy who destroyed them. D'Lo wasn't even good, and the Mavs looked more functional with him on the floor. Same with Ryan Nembhard. Like, I understand a lot went wrong for the Mavs, and Wemby was the cause of a lot of it, but like they also kind of did to themselves in ways. But I have no Flagg take. Sorry to the internet.
Flagg ends up with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 0 assists. Again, he was ostensibly their point guard, and he had 0 assists. He had no points at all in the first half. Didn't score until the opening minutes of the third quarter.
I have a story about that, actually. I have a friend who was like texting me. He's going to watch this game. He's like, I'm going to stay up till Flagg scores and go to bed. He's like you. He has a very, very young newborn. He texted me at halftime. He said, I'm going to bed. He did not get to see it.
He didn't have to wait that much longer. I agree with you. They need to start some guards. I actually think Ryan Nembhard should probably start for this team, which is kind of saying a lot. I know that the ESPN broadcast at halftime was arguing, yeah, it's probably time to start D'Angelo Russell. We have seen every coach that has coached D'Angelo Russell give up on D'Angelo Russell. I don't know that any coach has ever given up on him before the season even started. The way that Jason Kidd just basically had like a couple of preseason games was like, actually, no, we're going to go with the rookie who's never played point guard in his life. We're going to just start him at point guard and bring D'Angelo Russell off the bench. The Mavericks have some offensive concerns, but to your point, Tony, it would be nice to maybe get a new barometer that has nothing to do with Victor Wembanyama before you make any major changes there in Dallas. Coming up, potentially an Eastern Conference Finals preview between the Cavaliers and the Knicks. We'll tell you how that one played out. Plus, Cooper Flagg might have not had a great rookie debut, but somebody else that was picked in the top 5 did. We'll talk about that next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with a high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. I love that you're getting the same quality service that you had before, but for a fraction of the price. The setup is super easy. You keep your number and you are running in minutes, ready to say yes to saying no. Make the switch at mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. That's mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow up above 35 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rougiette. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. Or it happens to everybody sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. It's prescribed. Your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. Visit Rougiette, RUGIET.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's Rougiette.com/LockedOnNBA. Don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so that you know we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night. The best way to support the show is to subscribe on YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. Let's go to Boston, where the Sixers rookie VJ Edgecombe scored 34 points in his debut to help Philadelphia beat the Boston Celtics. It is, Tony, the most points in an NBA debut since Wilt Chamberlain had 43 in 1959. It's the third most all-time in a debut. Here's Locked On Sixers host Mark Frazetta with more.
Start their 2025-2026 campaign with a win in Boston, holding off the Celtics for a 117-116 victory led by Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. Maxey drops in 40 points in the season opener, including 3 threes that helped jumpstart a Sixers offense in the fourth quarter after they scored only 18 points in total in the third. Then VJ Edgecombe came up with a historic debut, scoring the third most points ever, 34 points in an NBA debut, and the most points in an NBA debut in 71 years. So, yeah, it went really well for VJ Edgecombe as the Sixers held off the Celtics. Joel Embiid, he did play for the 76ers in the opener. He logged 20 minutes and did not re-enter the game after the 9:18 mark of the fourth quarter. He came up with 4 points.
So I'm going to stop it there because I don't want to step on the Embiid stuff too much. I want to start with Edgecombe. I want to start with Tyrese Maxey. These guys were great. Embiid wasn't necessarily that good. Tony, how are you thinking about the 76ers team after this game?
I didn't realize how long ago the 1950s were until he said 70 years, and I made a face. Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, look, we'll see what rookie efficiencies hold, right? We just talked about Flagg, and like, we don't want to run away, taking away anything bad from him. To say we don't like fly off the rails too much with a hot performance early, but Edgecombe 14 points the first quarter. I think that is a rookie record. Like, if he can get to the rim like that, and half his shots were threes, player, but like, oh man, like, does that add some dynamite to the Sixers? Who, like, they have Maxey, who's also very fast and very dynamic, but that was kind of it last year. Already, you're seeing what one more thing, what just one really does for that team. Like, Joel Embiid was bad and didn't play that much. It didn't matter. They won the game against at least like a credibly good team, and like Kelly Oubre wasn't that great. Dom Barlow, a two-way player, started before. Edgecombe was like legitimately good in this game, and Maxey was even better with 40. 74 from two guys is crazy. I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to change my Sixers outlook because their entire outlook is just a big shrug for everybody, but certainly encouraging that in your first ever game, you're like, oh man, this guy's like crazy dynamic and whatever he kind of thought, but you never know until the games happen. But whew, he looked great.
His athleticism is next level, right? I mean, he's got that second jump where
101.
he's still going up and everybody else is still going down. He's doing things that don't look like they should be happening in terms of just levitating by the basket. And the other thing, it's not just like a raw athleticism thing with VJ Edgecombe. His timing when he's cutting is not the timing of a rookie. He's so advanced in terms of his off-ball movement, cutting, using that athleticism to cut to the basket, help out Tyrese Maxey. When Maxey's driving, he's cutting off the weak side and all these things. Maxey had 6 assists in this game. I'm not sure how many exactly went to Edgecombe, but it feels like half of them did. And you're right. Like, Joel Embiid wasn't good. He had 4 points, 1 for 9 shooting, was completely ineffective in his 20 minutes, and it didn't matter because Edgecombe and Maxey were that good. And I do think if you're looking at Philadelphia's long-term outlook, you kind of see what's brewing here. And it's a team that, when McCain is healthy especially, is kind of built around its guards and kind of just has to wait out. It's going to take a while, and it's a lot of money, but has to wait out the Embiid and Paul George contracts. But with Edgecombe, with Maxey, with McCain when he's healthy, there is something at least to feel good about if you're the 76ers. But let's move on to our other game in the Eastern Conference. We're going to go to New York, where the Knicks beat the Cavs in what is the preseason favorite to be the Eastern Conference Finals. Here's Gavin Shaw from Locked On Knicks with more.
New York Knicks couldn't beat Cleveland in 4 tries last season. In fact, they were often embarrassed in their attempts, and it takes them just one game in the 25-26 season to get it done. What's up, guys? I'm Gavin Shaw, the Locked On Knicks podcast, talking you through a 119-111 victory for the New York Knicks over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mike Brown was absolutely cooking in his coaching debut. The Knicks closed with 5 out and Deuce McBride on the floor, something I was calling for all last season. We rarely saw under Tom Thibodeau. Jalen Brunson able to pick apart the Cavs defense as he was blitzed, get the ball to Mikal Bridges, making plays 4 on 3. It was all beautiful. The defensive playmaking for OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges was just outstanding. A combined 9 steals plus blocks for the two of them, including a game-sealing bat away on an inbound from OG, reading it like a young Ed Reed, knocking the ball away from Evan Mobley, sprinting up the court, double pump dunk, combined with his late corner 3, won this game for the New York Knicks. They play 11 players, young bucks like Tyler Kolek and Ariel Hukporti really flashed. It was just a great night to be a fan of the New York Knicks. Still need to get Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson healthy. When they do, this team is going to be really, really exciting.
Tony, do you agree with Gavin there?
100%. I watched this game start to finish, and let's caveat this. The Cavs didn't have Strus, Hunter, or Garland, so they were missing 3 key guys, but their offense looked really clunky in a way that I was like, wow, is this the Knicks or is this the Cavs? Because the Knicks got 5 for 18 from Brunson, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 3, and only 5 assists. Cat had this weird, like, guys, just kidding, he's not playing. Just kidding, he is kind of day. They're starting a 58th pick from last year at the 5, and like they had, like he just said, all their lineups on the floor were dynamic. They got great contributions from basically everybody. Deuce, OG, Hukporti was even kind of good on the glass. Like, all these guards that just signed for them were good. Tyler Kolek was good. Like, if Brown can find a way to make them this dynamic and spaced out and effective all the time, even on a night where their stars aren't that good and they're missing Harden Robinson, I was like, oh man, the Knicks might be something this year, and we'll see if the Cavs, if it was a health thing or not. But their offense made me like raise my eyebrow. Like, this team was really good last year, right? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it turns out like passing and sharing the ball and playing shooters is a good idea in 2025. So hats off to Mike Brown, I guess, for figuring that out. But in all seriousness, no, like this Knicks team has so much talent. It had a ton of talent last year. It has even more talent this year, having added some of those guys that we were talking about coming off the bench now. And it just, this is what it looks like when you utilize that talent. And again, credit to Mike Brown for figuring this out. The Cavs did come back in this one, right? Like there was a pretty big hole. Donovan Mitchell scores 21 points in the third quarter to kind of claw back into this game. But again, credit to the Knicks for closing this one out. All right, we are going to move on. We have 9 more games to get to. We're going to wrap up a jam-packed night in the NBA after this. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by Skims. When I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I've heard so much about their quality from friends and family, so I had to give it a try. And let me tell you, it lives up to the hype. I've always had issues with my underwear, fit, comfort, just finding the right pair for me, and Skims changed all of that. Their men's lines offer something for everybody, from boxer briefs to classic briefs, all designed with the perfect balance of comfort and style. I tried the Skims 5-inch boxer brief. I gotta tell you, I'm hooked. These are perfect for my active lifestyle. They move with me. They never lose their shape. They stay in place all day, whether I'm working out or if I'm just running errands. They're the most comfortable and reliable underwear I've ever owned. Plus, the lightweight material feels amazing, almost like you're wearing nothing at all. If you want to try them, shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey, select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Game Night, every game, every night. If you're joining the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on your favorite podcast app. All right, Tony, let's whip around the league from Wednesday night. A bunch of more games to get to here. Let's start in Brooklyn. The Hornets, or in Charlotte rather, the Hornets beat the Nets 136 to 117. Charlotte ran hot out of the gate. They never looked back. They piled up 130 plus points in the opener. I don't know about you, but LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller stood out to me in this one.
My Hornets, Wes. This is going to be our bit the whole season. Calling
Let's
this team my guys. I believe in them for some reason. I think a lot of teams are going to look really, really, really good playing against the Brooklyn Nets this season. But the Hornets kicked it off in grand fashion. Brenner's good. Bridges had a double-double, and their young guys look very connected. I'm more bullish on them to be like a decent, albeit not quite playoff team than most, and they started off strong.
All right, next game we'll go to Orlando, where the Magic beat the Heat 125 to 121. A fast-paced game between two teams that have historically been among the slowest in the league. The Magic do enough at the end to get this one. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Desmond Bane. All three of them score at least 20 points in this one. A nice night for Norm Powell, who had 28 points in the loss for the Heat. This was the one I was watching because I was obviously covering it for Locked On Heat. I think you got to feel pretty good if you're the Magic and if you're the Heat coming out of this one, Tony, because like I said, these were two teams that were among the slowest teams in the league last year. You heard both of these teams talking about in the preseason, hey, we need to play faster. We need to play faster. We got to score more points. And that's exactly what happened. These are two good defenses. I don't think you're worried about them defensively necessarily, but offensively, you definitely were. They showed some stuff tonight, Tony.
Wes, my only takeaway from this game is I'm sure you know, I'm shocked that the Miami Heat played a close game that they couldn't quite win. They only did that a million times last year.
They find a way to lose, right? They gave up an offensive rebound to Wendell Carter Jr. of all people, and that was it. Let's go to our next game. Raptors beat the Hawks 138 to 118. Toronto lights it up. They win going away in Atlanta. Here's more from Locked On Raptors host Sean Woodley.
Hey, are you sleeping on the Toronto Raptors? It's time to wake up. Yes, it's just one game, but the Toronto Raptors look like a wagon. 138-118. They take down the Atlanta Hawks in their season opener on the road, mind you. The Hawks coming in with all kinds of hoopla. Kristaps Porzingis is going to change their defense, and no, the Toronto Raptors score 86 points in the paint. They score 138 points despite hitting just 6 3-pointers in this entire game. And they absolutely run down Atlanta's throat. 34 fast break points to 11 on the Hawks side of things. This was the formula the Raptors are going to shoot for. They're going to force steals. They had 10 steals in this game. They're going to be balanced. They had 3 players with 20-plus points. RJ Barrett had an efficient 25. Scotty Barnes, a super clean 22, to go along with 6 boards and 9 assists. And then you had Grady Dick off the bench with a really efficient 21 points. That doesn't even include Brandon Ingram, who had just 16 and was just very steady, hit some big mid-range shots to help stabilize the offense in times. And then Emmanuel quickly had a beautiful playmaking game, 8 assists, 13 points as well. And had he not gone a very uncharacteristic 0 of 7 from deep, he would have probably been in that 20-point club as well. The Toronto Raptors, they might not be contenders or anything like that, but there are too many good players here for them not to be pretty good, and their formula of running down your throat is probably going to work on regular season nights quite often, as the Hawks very much found out on Wednesday.
Let's go to Memphis next, where the Grizzlies beat the Pelicans 128-122. John Morant and company sprint past New Orleans. High-tempo game there in Memphis. Here's Jake Madison with more on the season-opening loss for the Pelicans.
New season, new roster, kind of the same old Pelicans as they fall to the Memphis Grizzlies 128-122. I'm Jake Madison, host of the Locked On Pelicans podcast here. Look, this was a game the Pelicans could have won. You know, this is a banged-up Memphis Grizzlies team coming in with a lot of injuries, and the Pelicans just really shot themselves in the foot. This is a game more that they lost than the Memphis Grizzlies went out and won. This Pelicans team was terrible in transition defense all night long, and they were letting Memphis run after makes. They were letting Memphis get the ball, inbound the ball, and still beat them down the court. This was an issue we saw in preseason. It's something that should have been cleaned up by the start of the regular season, and the Pelicans did not do that. That's a concern. That makes you feel like this isn't the new Pelicans under Joe Dumars with a roster that's almost 50% turned over. This just feels like the same old Pelicans, despite 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals from Zion Williamson, who was great in this one. Rookie Jeremiah Fears with 17 points in his NBA debut. We should be talking about a Pelicans win, but instead, they're just the Pelicans. We got more over at the Locked On Pelicans podcast.
Tony, let's go to Chicago, where the Bulls beat the Pistons 115-111. Chicago grinds this one out. Matas Buzelis, 21 points as he starts his most improved player campaign that he said that's the award he wants to win. But Tony, Pistons, they did not look good.
I watched the end of this one and caught glimpses of the first half. The Pistons looked awful in the first half. Duncan Robinson as the starter, as you know, a somewhat streaky player. On a new team, a guy like him who requires knowing your actions and not being streaky, he played quite poorly in this game. Nikola Vucevic just completely tore apart the Pistons. And late, they had 2 chances to tie it. Every Pistons game is just batch crazy. They couldn't quite get it from 3 from Cade or Tobias Harris. So I think the Pistons will be disappointed in this one, even though the Bulls aren't awful. But the Bulls without Kobe White's a game they should win. They've got to find a way to shoot better. They didn't take or make many threes.
Let's go to Milwaukee. The Bucks cruise. Giannis headlines a comfortable opener over the Wizards. Bucks 133, Wizards 120. Here's Locked On Bucks with more.
The Milwaukee Bucks win their season opener, spoiling Chris Middleton's return to Milwaukee. I'm Camille Davis, co-host of the Locked On Bucks podcast, and this season opener, another statement game from Giannis to start the season off. 37 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists in a game where the Bucks had 7 different guys in double-digit scoring, which I think will be the formula for this team throughout the season. You never know who that second leading scorer is going to be, but they're going to have a lot of guys to score some points for them. It's going to be spread around pretty equally, I think. First look at Miles Turner, Giannis front court. Looked pretty good in this one, pretty good. The only unfortunate thing in this game for the Milwaukee Bucks is that Kevin Porter Jr. went down in the first quarter with the left ankle injury. Kevin was cooking too, leading up to that point. Had 10 points real quick. Ankle injury, he was ruled out almost immediately. Doc Rivers said post-game that it's not looking good for him. MRI for him tomorrow. And if he's out, the Bucks are going to need a lot more from Ryan Rollins, from Cole Anthony. And they can't foul. Going to need them to stay out of foul trouble too. So make sure you tune in to Locked On Bucks for more analysis from this season opening win.
Tony, I want to go straight to Salt Lake City off of that. Jazz 129, Clippers 108.
Wow.
A surprising result. Here's David Locke with more.
In a truly stunning performance, the Utah Jazz blow out the LA Clippers by the final score of 129-108. And here's the stunner. The game was not that close. In fact, the Jazz took a 20-point lead at the 2:37 mark of the first quarter, and the Clippers never got closer than 19 at any point in the rest of the night. They never made a run. The Jazz led this 43-19 at the end of one. They led it 78-47 at the half. The Jazz were last in the NBA in deflections, had more steals in the first three quarters tonight than they had in any game all year last year. The Jazz got brilliant performances from Walker Kessler, who was absolutely dominant, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. The Jazz back-cut the Clippers all night long. Their off-ball action was incredible, and they broke the Clippers on multiple times tonight where the Clippers just died and quit. An unbelievable opening night by the Utah Jazz. Pure brilliance in every sense. Is it real? No idea, but it was tonight as Utah blows out the Clippers.
Will Hardy. Will Hardy, baby. Let's go. We all believe in him as a coach. I have no idea what to make of this because the Clippers are 1,000,000 years old and the Jazz are all 10 years old. But I mean, what a statement, right? Like, someone on the Jazz is going to pop, and it was kind of like a little bit everybody in this game, and maybe the Clippers just sucked. But woof, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to watching more Utah.
My knee-jerk reaction is that this Kawhi Leonard scandal and investigation is just throwing a wrench in the Clippers season. That team is so talented. Yes, they're old, but and maybe it's just a lot of name more than substance. But that's a talented roster with a lot of serious NBA players on it, which you can't say about the Utah Jazz. There's no reason why, even at home, Utah should win this game the way that David Locke was talking about. Like, it wasn't even as close as it was in the final score. So, we will see what happens with the Clippers going from here. A lot of eyes going to be on them. A couple more games here. Let's go to Phoenix, where the Suns beat the Kings 120-116. The Suns flip a 20-point hole and close it late to take the opener. Here's more from Locked On Suns.
Suns come back and defeat the Sacramento Kings 120-116. Benjamin Garcia, Locked On Phoenix Suns, and you know the drill. There's a lot of things to talk about. In a game where a lot of people gave up hope at halftime, I saw it. The Suns put together a team that can't compete with some of the other teams that have multitude of scores on them. But the difference was the Suns have an identity now. They are building a culture. And being down 20-plus points isn't anything in the NBA, especially when your identity is on the defensive side of the ball. The Suns came out, turned defense into offense, were suffocating on the defensive side of the floor, and made timely buckets. Colin Gillespie was a revelation in this game. Dylan Brooks showed why you love him when he's on your team and you hate him when he's not. And so for all those reasons, the Suns are starting off the season 1-0, and the Sacramento Kings are kind of left scratching their heads like, what the hell just happened? And that's what a lot of teams are going to feel like this year after playing the Phoenix Suns.
Tony, let's jump right to Portland for our final game of the night. Most times that you and I would do this show and Anthony Edwards scored 41 points, that might lead the show. Instead, we are ending with it. Anthony Edwards, 41 points in this game. The Timberwolves beat the Blazers 118-114. This game was a lot of fun. What did you see from this one?
And the thing, too, about this, I was actually going to make the same joke you did. Not only did he have 41, clutch bucket after clutch bucket, too.
Dagger.
They were trailing from, like, the middle of the first quarter till there was, like, only a couple minutes to go, and Ant gets him across the line, Gobert fouls out. Like, nasty junks from Dayton McJanis. They got a lot of good stuff. Like, Portland actually looked better than I thought. Their offense had some nice ball movement and pop in a way I didn't think. So this is a real win for Minnesota on the road, and Ant is just – he's awesome, man. Like, Wemby might have passed him tonight in everybody's head, but people forget. People thought that guy might be a top 5 player this year. He was fantastic.
That wraps up Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. For Tony East, I'm Wes Goldberg. This has been Game Night. Thanks for hanging out with us.